Welcome to another episode of Industrial Amputation, where you can always expect the unexpected. Charles Levi is out of town and will be back with us next week. Today we have with us the incredible band History of Guns, which exploded onto the UK EDM scene in the 90s. And Max and Dell, thank you so much for being here, man. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having us. We're happy to be here.
Pleasure to have you on, man. Hey, we discussed this before we started recording, but a quick shout out to Shauna.
Shauna from Shameless.
Marmalade.
Yeah. A lot of other bands come up to me and say, "Oh, we're hearing a lot about History of Guns, and how come it's going so well for you guys?" And I'm say, you can make the best album in the world, but if no one hears it, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't
And
matter.
people who work in bands, musicians, aren't necessarily that great at doing publicity and all of that side of it. So Shauna's been an absolute godsend for us. Thank you, Shauna.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
Shauna.
exactly. Thank you, Shauna. This is awesome.
Yes.
And Armalite. So, Joey, go ahead, kick it off.
Sure, man. Thank you, Sean, as well. So, you guys, your eighth album, Half-Life, came out on June 20th of this year. It's an album that began as a concept around 2008. Why did you both feel it was important to build upon this concept years later and make it into your latest release?
Good question. I think I'll go for it. We at the time we were getting reviews that were saying we were very unfocused because we were kind of a bit genre blind, and we did our second album was like every song was in a different genre, but that was supposed to be the journey. But some people loved it, and other people were saying, "Oh, if these guys could just focus, they would have something really special." So for the third album, we thought we'd just focus on our guitar sound. We had live drummer, the whole thing's with live drums, and it was by far, by our standards, our biggest success. But the point was we were going to then follow that with an electronic album, which was going to be Half-Light. But because it was going well, and we'd got a live band together, and we were touring, and we were writing new songs with the live band, it seemed a little churlish to then just, now we're going to completely change genre and become an electronic band. It made sense to kind of stick with what we were doing. So they kind of got put on hold at that point. But over the years, I kept going back to it and just tinkering around, because the first 4 or 5 tracks were roughly sketched out, sort of thing. And so I've got mixes from like 2019, 2021, it gets a bit more. And I keep just dropping back in. And then after we took our hiatus and we came back with a new album, and that had gone well, the process had gone well, I thought, what would be great would be to finish off Half-Life finally, because I'm the kind of person, if I've only half watched a film, I'm always wondering for a long time, well, how did it end? It nags away at me. I want something to finish. So the opportunity to actually finish Half-Life was good for me, and fortunately Dell had my back.
Right on. That's brilliant, man. When I think about the ideas I was working on back in 2008 and the gear I was using, it's crazy.
That's one of the issues, right? Because
right. That's exactly.
I use Cubase, and I had various free plugins and stuff, and then Cubase would be migrating to newer versions, and I'd load it up, and it's plugin not found, can't load this. And
okay, I was wanting to know. I mean, what were some of the trials and tribulations you guys went through, just trying to bring the 2008 recordings into the new?
Sometimes, because I've got an old laptop with like old Cubase on it that I could go to and then export as a WAV and then load that up. But increasingly, I just thought to use the opportunity, because the MIDI is still there, right? The notes and the programming is there, but just the sounds aren't. So I took that as an opportunity to then load up some new sounds. So that's why it kind of it's a bit anachronistic, because some of the sounds are very 2008 and some of the sounds are from the current kind of soft synths you can get now.
Yeah. Do you have any trouble with the sort of pollination there, using the different things, or did it? I mean, because the whole thing sounds pretty seamless. It feels pretty seamless.
Thank you.
I'd love to know how you stayed connected to the original material, and 2, I'd like to know how that material kind of evolved. from then to now. I know that thematically you guys have a very specific theme for this one, and it's pretty awesome. But I know I've got pretty specific themes for mine back then too, and some of them, the fucking world has just, why can't we just move on and evolve? But no, we're still fighting the same shit we have been for years and years and years.
It's
Yeah.
disappointing, right? I
It's
really
really
thought my
disappointing.
generation was going to sort it out. And where's
Yeah.
the revolution I'm waiting for?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, come on, I'm ready. So,
So it kind of started with it's like Mick Mercer used to write reviews of us, and he'd imagine us as like 1970s police detectives, or he'd imagine Dell and Max out of History of Guns in these different kind of character scenarios.
I love
And I
Mick.
thought, well, playing on that, we'll go with like genre fatigue, History of Guns in space.
Ooh,
Then I thought, well, we've got to have something to hang that on. So I kind of come to high level film idea of like me and Dell in this broken down spaceship that's kind of orbiting a moon, and half the day we're like closest to the sun and it's unbearably hot, and half the day we're facing a dead planet and it's unbearably cold, hence the
Yeah.
title Half-Light. So that was the
Yeah.
initial thing. And there's not that much. I was thinking about, we always try to, life isn't all dark or all light, and you can
Right.
be in a kind of industrial goth influenced band and be all just relentlessly minor chords and negative. But we've always tried to have a bit of humor and a bit of light. We want to represent all of life rather than just the dark side. So
Yeah.
we kind of like that idea. And then as it went on, kind of over the years, it kind of became less a satire on genre fatigue. The idea of space was still there, but then, like, particularly No Longer Earthbound, we're thinking, well, in however many millions, billions of years' time, the sun will die and life on this earth will be over. So what's
Yeah.
next for humankind? Where do we go? And that is either outer space, or some kind of virtual reality, or some kind of inner space, like life after death kind of scenario.
Yeah.
So some sort of afterlife. That's the three options for escape. So the more you think about those kind of lines, more things are opening up. So it becomes quite metaphysical, even though it started in a very playful way.
Yeah.
It's ended up somewhere very strange.
Very dark.
It's not all dark.
It's not. Oh, no, it's not all
I
dark.
think, people used
It's
to
about thinking, my man.
say that about Giger, HR Giger. It's like, your stuff is so dark, and he's like, it's not though. I mean, it's all the same colors of nature breaking down so that new things can grow. It's not dark at all. It's there's a light to that. With the decay and decomposition, there's still light in that, and I love that you kind of have that aspect going on in this. It's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I'm really struggling to hear you. Maybe I'm getting old. I'm going to see it a bit closer. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Yeah.
So, am I not coming through?
Yeah, I've got it now. Max is trying to turn the sound up a little bit. I'm getting old.
The laptop's on maximum volume, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I get.
I'll
Tinnitus.
It's like,
What?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Our friends who are drummers, that's what they're like.
Yeah, right.
What? Right, anyway, as long as we understand one another.
Yeah, like, no need to shout.
What? I'm not shouting.
Awesome. Awesome. I love that you guys have a sense of humor. That's fucking great, man. So with the changes in technology, you were talking about that a little bit.
Yeah.
Some of the but you did have the old software, so you were able to still kind of put everything together, and I mean, you did a damn good job with it.
Thank you. Yeah, I was quite slow with the technology because we started in '96, and so then we'd go to rehearsal studios, demo studios, and record stuff to tape. And then it was '99 when I got a PC with Cubase, and that kind of changed everything because I could mess around and fiddle around with stuff. But I wouldn't use soft synths. I mean, the memory of the computer wouldn't handle anything like that. And so it was quite hard to get the MIDI to sync up like 120 beats PM through a synth to then arpeggiate at the right kind of
Yeah,
I've been through a whole journey. I still don't say I'm great at it, but each time I pick up a bit more. I try to do something different, and I learn more stuff. And of course, now you've got a million YouTube videos telling you
yeah,
how to do stuff, which they didn't at the start.
yeah. I was always more of the physical aspects of the recording thing, and
Yeah.
I was very late to come into digital software laptop recording. I actually, my first was what, 2019, 2018, 2019 with
Wow, okay.
Ableton, when I got my first interface, my Scarlett interface. Before that, I was using, like, Tascam digital recorders, Roland digital recorders,
Yeah.
Fostex and whatnot, with zip drives and jazz cassettes and stuff. So I've got some stuff that I need to
Zip
type
drives.
into here.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
When Ableton came out, and a lot of my associates and colleagues were saying, "Oh, Ableton is the thing," and I downloaded the trial version. But
I was so
it
mad.
was, I was so bad. But I got to Cubase, I knew how to use it, and so I wanted to
Yeah.
write a song. I don't want to spend hours learning how to use new software.
Yeah.
I just want to
No
record the
kidding.
music.
I got that interface and it gave me the option of Pro Tools or Ableton. And I'm like, well, I've tried Pro Tools. Let me see what Ableton looks like. I couldn't even figure out how to arm a track on it. I had to
No.
actually take a class to learn how to use that software.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I did. It's working out. I've got lots of stuff being recorded, but yeah, I would just, thinking about when I heard that you guys had started this project for this album in 2008, I immediately went back to, oh my God, they're trying to pull stuff off of jazz drives. And
Yeah. But they'll say I was frustrated for a bit, but the stuff that I couldn't get to work.
yeah,
I just I took it as an opportunity to, well, I have to do something
that's
different.
awesome, man. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, no, I've got some jazz cassettes that have corrupted a little bit. And honestly, it sounds like somebody has remixed the work I put on there. So I'm when I've got the wherewithal, I'm going to actually put those out as mixed by fate.
Oh wow. I love that.
But-
I can't think of the guy just the disintegrating tape loops.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah, I love that.
yeah. Awesome, man.
So Half-Light is meant to be experienced as 3 acts. The first 4 tracks are considered Act 1, which is the opening of a door with flashes of light. Part 5, the listener walks through it. As Act 2 closes, it's followed by the remaining music considered Act 3. Could you guys talk more about this concept that you had for 3 acts?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Del. They're not asking. You need to ask some Del questions in a bit, but that's
No, you don't. I'm a bit busy.
Oh,
I'm going to ask you a question.
that's one for me again.
In the digital age, gentlemen, is it okay if I smoke?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Not for
We're
me.
all inclusive here, man.
I've got asthma.
As long as you're not like
Bloody will have.
grabbing a thing and tying
So,
off,
I'm really
we'll be
sorry, guys.
fine.
So what was the last question?
So yeah,
about the 3 acts.
yeah. So at the same time, I was trying to work on a novel that was on the same things, and so the classic kind of 3 act structure suits was what I was thinking about in terms of plotting, and then mapping that onto the album. So basically, the start of the story, the characters desperately want something they think is going to resolve their lives. They come close to getting it, but there's an obstacle in their way. They have to overcome that obstacle. Then they get that. And of course, it isn't what they want. It doesn't help them at all. And plunges them right back down again. And then the final act should be what it is they actually need. So I took that and mapped it onto the album. So the first 4 tracks, I was looking at some sort of the magical kind of ceremonies with the kind of watchtower of the north, the south, the east, and the west. So I've tried to tie it up to like there's earth, fire, water, things. That's the 4 tracks. That's the opening kind of ceremony. And they're 4 quite conventional songs. Like EDM, 3-4 minutes with verse, chorus, etc. And then we get to Flash of Light Part 5, which is what I call our episodic music, where you've got no repeating elements. It just goes on a journey through this and through that. It becomes a lot more unstructured, let's say. And so the point in the story whereby life on Earth is we've been stuck in time for a long time, and we need to communicate with this aliens, Arcadians. That's the most joyous point. We get to the point Arcadia, which is a celebration of freedom, and basically what we want as human beings. All we wanted was to be free from unkind authority. That's literally the message. It's nothing complex. It's nothing clever or anything like that. But of course, that's a false horizon at the end of Act 2, and then you have to plunge right down, and that's when we get Drug Castle, which is about addiction and how particularly people who have had traumatic experiences in the past numb themselves. And I think a lot of the drinking and drugs and problems we see are people trying to cope with pain.
Absolutely.
And that's the most brutal part.
It is.
And then we kind of come up, it comes up a little bit at the end. Not to the full,
You say it comes up.
not to the full joy of Arcadia, but it comes to a more accepting place of pain and be kind to yourself. And Dell's for Nikki Scepter in Canada, is she?
Canada, sadly, yeah.
Yeah. She recorded the voice. That was just a message that she sent to Dell. And I heard it and I thought, that's perfect.
Excellent.
Yeah, I talk to her a lot. Yeah. She's in other bands. We've never actually met, blah blah blah. But we talk a lot. So I captured that moment of what she said and then put that. I said, Max, you got to listen to what this woman just said, and just slapped it on there. Obviously, asked for her permission.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just great thing to say. You know,
Essentially, it's that life is hard. Be kind to yourself.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's kind of our
People need
message
to
for
hear
the
that.
show. So it's a perfect pairing with you guys.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I have a very punishing super ego, and I'm very regularly cross with myself. And it's a constant effort to. So it's all right, Max. Calm down. You're all right.
Yeah, it's
Right
when
for you
the
guys,
lights
I'll
go off
deal
and you
with
start
this.
to lay down. Yeah. And then you're like, oh.
Easily done.
Yeah, very. So are you guys doing any live shows in support of the new album?
No.
No?
We prefer
Is
to play
that,
with
is
the
that bound to
full,
change? Are you doing live shows at all?
we like to play with the full 5-piece band.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming.
Okay.
And
good,
again, this
good,
being
good.
an electronic album, we've tried before. It doesn't work if we've got the laptop backing. We like the freedom that if someone's doing guitar solos going well, you can double the solo, or if Dell
Yeah.
comes in late, you can just play a bit longer, and then we all get to the chorus at the same time. And it's much more organic. And so our original drummer Gary Hughes, he's back on board, and we're looking to get a bass player and then have a session.
Right on.
So nothing booked, but it's been a while since we played live, but we are excited to get that back.
That's fucking awesome. Yeah. So I take it, Dell, you're doing a lot of the vocals, and so are you writing too? Are you writing the vocals as well?
Sorry, I was struggling to hear. Yeah, always writes, yes.
Right on. Excellent.
Lots of notepads around.
Yeah.
Honestly, you come into my house, it's just like bits of paper everywhere, and it's
no,
you know, I don't know if you write.
I do. Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So sometimes, see what I do as a vocalist, they play me a song, and hopefully I just wing it. So winging is the wrong word. I just come out. It just comes
Improvise.
out. Improvise. Thank you, Max.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got loads and loads of notes, and you look back on them, and you think, what the hell is that about? But every now and again, right, they'll come out of music around you and go whack. Let's go straight in there.
Yeah. No,
And that is one of the strengths of Dell is when we're doing the jamming, and he has the unique ability to just come up with stuff from somewhere back here in his head that he'll listen back to months later and go, that's not me, I didn't write that. But it comes out so pretty fully formed.
Yeah.
It's like subconscious area.
Yeah, no, seriously. The best things I've ever written are through improvisation.
Yeah.
Because it just comes out. If you hear good music around you, it's so simple to do.
Yeah, no, that's the way I work too. Stream, it's very much stream of consciousness.
Yeah, exactly,
I'll write,
that's the
write,
one.
write, but when someone's playing music, I might be flipping through pages for about 10 minutes before I'm like, oh, just keep playing that. Oh, I've got it. You know, or
Oh,
I just
good
put the
man.
book
At
down and just
last,
start
I met
going.
someone who gets it.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
at
No,
last.
when I was little, my one of the first things I asked my parents for was for a radio. They got me a transistor radio back in the 70s, and I would sleep with that thing. So I was listening to music when I slept.
Nice.
Wow.
And yeah, when I first started working with music, I didn't play anything. I could sing or scream or whatever. But but that's where it came from. Was I'm sure that just subconsciously I was training myself with how to put the words to the music. Did you have anything like that going on?
I don't think so. I think if somebody's, I think it was just a band thing. It's about being around people
Yeah,
that you get on with, yeah, and the music sort of gels.
yeah,
And how can I explain it? Something just happens. Not,
yeah.
I
No,
just
there's
make
that
stuff up.
magic,
I'm
that
not
magic bit.
making it up. Yeah, it
Yeah,
just comes out, right?
yeah.
There's so much music
Mm.
that we've actually recorded and that it's out there that
Mhm,
just so live, yeah. I didn't have to make it up. It
mhm.
was just there on that day. I can't
Yeah.
explain it. It just happened.
Yeah,
There's always
no,
a moment, I
I
think.
feel you. It is hard to explain that kind of thing. It
Yeah,
is.
exactly. It
Yeah.
is. Please don't question why.
There was a
It's
point
like
when I was
I'm like, I don't know what I've done until I can play it back.
You know
You get
stuff.
that too?
You know stuff.
There was a
Yeah.
point when I was younger when I used to sort of overthink things a lot. I'd be playing this chord and go, oh, what chord to go with that? Or let's do a relative minor or a suspended second or something. But then it was with the history of guns that I learned to stop doing that. And that moment when you first got a load of musicians in a room and everyone changes from one chord to the same other chord without
Yeah.
anyone speaking, it's
Yeah,
just, it's like magic.
beautiful. It's
It is, it
beautiful.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Well,
So
go ahead.
go ahead, Joey. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say this album contains element of a story crafted by Max, which explores inner and outer space, as we were talking about a bit. I was wondering, is this novel completed, and will it be coming out?
Well,
Oh, go on.
no, I set the target because I took 2 months off from my day job to write it, but I got as far as 3-act structure. So up to the end of Act 1 is done, and I'm happy with it, and it's really, really good. And I know how it ends, but I found as I was writing Act 2, it was just because Act 3 is going to be the main important bit. I was just
Right.
kind of finding stuff for characters to do. So it was just kind of like padding, really. And I sort of got a bit, this isn't right. So I've had to stop and I need to rethink Act 2. And I'm going to try and think of it more as each act as its own separate book. There's got to be enough drama and high stakes stuff. Even though we know they're going to get through to Act 3, it's got to be meaningful. I can't just give them pointless tasks to occupy
Max,
them.
calm down, dear.
So I haven't given up. And I say Act 1 is great.
Awesome. Have you thought about
Mine's
whether or not you're going to do this as a graphic novel?
Haven't thought along. I just wanted to get that first draft from beginning
on.
to finish
I
done.
have to ask because my nephew is an illustrator, and
I would love that. Yeah, we can.
yeah. So
You can put me in touch.
every time I hear about somebody working on a story, I'm thinking,
There you go, Max.
Yeah. It would work very well as a graphic novel in my
There you
mind.
go. Look,
yeah, that's what I'm
connection.
thinking.
Have
Yeah,
it.
excellent. You know, I can set you up with my nephew because he's fucking awesome.
Brilliant. Yeah.
I don't
High
know. If you've, yeah, high five indeed. There's a novel, a graphic novel that came out in 2018, I think, called Virgil, and my nephew's the illustrator on that book. It won best
Virgil.
novel of 2028, I believe. Yeah,
Oh wow.
yeah. So
We should check it out.
yeah, absolutely. I'll send you a link.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah,
I always it's like these days with music. There's so much music coming out that I get overwhelmed. So what I rely on is recommendations from people I talk to who say,
yeah,
check this out. I go, yes, and I follow that.
excellent. So History of Guns also has a short film coming out called Drug Castle. Can you tell us more about that?
Yes. So we've had a long association with Howard Gardner, who is the director, and I'm in another band with him, Decommissioned Forest, and because we did the music, regular music videos, but we kind of wanted something a bit more. We've always wanted to do films, but budget and not having the sufficient talent or stuff. So this was an opportunity to actually make a 10-minute short film. And in the terms of the story of the album, there's a bit where things are desperate, so we're trying to contact these faraway aliens. So the idea of Drug Castle is that it was this kind of experimental place in the 60s and 70s where they were testing out a lot of the pharmaceutical drugs, like MK Ultra and the stuff you heard, the CIA. But the idea is that it was a place.
Project Southern Cross.
It was by the sea, is all we know. And some people who went there, had a great time and had a really healing experience. But it seemed like any psychologist, psychotherapist could book it out, take people down there and do whatever the hell they wanted to them. And one of the things was this frequency therapy, which is becoming quite, where you're playing different sound frequencies at people. And I thought if you could match that with getting a person to a certain emotional state, you could achieve a third shift or a change of some degree. So we aggravate Del to the extent where he's incredibly upset, and he's just saying.
It's not on, is it?
It's not funny. It is. He says, you hated yourself for how you treated me, and that just made you hate me more. Yeah. And it's that repeated, which is brutal, with all these kind of sound stuff going on.
If you've not heard it.
And so for the video,
when you hear it, it makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
For the video,
which track is this?
On the beach, we've got this pyramid set up, and we've got a fire. I've got a oscilloscope adjusting frequencies. And then Howard's big thing is that he works in VFX. So as we're doing it, he's got ghostly, weird alien figures appearing around us. So cool. That's the film.
Where can people see this? Where can we view it?
Well, there's a physical showing in London.
I'll be right there.
Crasher Raymond's place.
Tuesday, so I think you've got time. You've got time.
Yeah.
Book your flights.
Maybe a little bit tight for me there.
No. And then we haven't quite finalized the release date, but it'll be in the next couple of weeks, and then it'll be up on YouTube.
Right on, man. Congratulations on that. That's fucking huge.
Congratulations, guys. That's awesome.
Thank you. We've wanted to do it for a while, and it is Howard is brilliant. We couldn't afford to pay someone of that talent.
That's awesome, man.
We'll definitely promote it on our page when it comes out, so people can see it.
Absolutely.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah,
it's a bit different because obviously people are used to music videos, but this is long and weird, and
that's right in our wheelhouse.
Right for you, right? I'm in the band, and I've heard
because it ends in daylight. So the first scene we shot was the end of it, which is Del lying in the sea covered in blood, and the sea was so cold, and we're making him lie there. His teeth were chattering.
Die for my art.
We enjoyed it. But Del didn't.
Basically, what happens is they treat me like shit.
Just get back in the water. Get back in the water. We gotta get this shot.
That's right. Just one more take. There's a footprint in that last one.
Die for your art. That's what it's about.
So your songs address mental health.
And scurvy's on my back since I was in the sea.
Yeah. Abandonment, different levels of reality, depression.
Yep.
Why do you consider these elements to be important topics prevalent in your music?
Because we're all human beings.
That's the best fucking answer I could have thought of, man. I like that. Yep.
I think also there's the world.
Don't change it.
There's a lot of terrible things in the world
It's
these
a
days.
simple answer.
Right.
Fuck it. Don't it go on?
Well, fair enough.
Ah, awesome. So if you don't mind, are you able to talk about how some of these things have touched your lives?
Yeah, of course. You can ask us anything. What do you
Yeah.
want to know?
So the themes of addiction and despair, kind of what in your past has people tend to want to speak about things that have happened to them. What has it been? If you don't mind, if it's not too personal.
No, go for it. Go for it. Let's be honest,
Yeah.
mate. If
So-
we have no honesty in life, we have got nothing.
That's a good point. That's a very good point.
Right. So I'll
So-
ask the question again.
Yeah. So how have these things, the mental health things, the depression, the addiction and whatnot, how have these things touched your lives?
Well, we created History Guns.
He wants to
That's
do more
a good
of
one.
that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to meet you to talk about that, to be quite honest, because everything's a personal thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. What I see as bad, you won't necessarily see as bad, and
That's yeah.
you know, your perception of life might be not my perception of life. You see, I'm a truth seeker, but it's got me in so much trouble. It's unbelievable. Yeah, I'm a deep thinker.
Yeah.
I'm a writer. I'm a git.
Yeah.
The,
I feel you.
when we did in 2008 Acedia, it was kind of like we decided to do like a no holds barred look at our mental health, all the things that were making us miserable.
Mhm.
And I mean, listening back now, I'm still proud of it, but it's very much an angry young man album. It's
Yeah.
it's full of
If you haven't heard it, listen to it, man. It will sit you on your knees.
No
Hopefully.
worries. Yeah.
yeah. And I think the next album we're going to do is we're going back to sort of guitar music, and that's going to be what we're angry about now later in life. It's less. It's less. You know, Acedia has that. You know, it's very much victim. It's very much poor me, and the world's done this to me, and this is what I'm fucked off about, and this is what I'm rage about. But obviously,
Yeah.
years have passed since then, and your views change or soften, or you understand yourself a bit more. You understand why you hurt yourself, why you drink so much, why you do destructive things, instead of, you know, not messing things up, not destroying things, not
addressing the fucking problem.
Yeah.
But
there's still a lot to be angry about. And the idea that
it will never end.
that anger's some way a negative emotion, you shouldn't have it. Anger is what brings about change. Anger is incredibly important.
We need to build a fucking army.
Yeah.
So we're pro anger, but but focus.
Awesome. Yeah.
And change.
Yeah.
Injustice. That's where it's about. It's not so much about poor me and look at these terrible things that have happened to me, which was what Acedia was more about.
Right. At the end of the day, just listen to History of Guns. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. Right. We really don't care. But it's very emotional. Right. We fucking mean what we say.
Yeah.
Sorry to be swearing, but everything we do, we bloody mean it.
Yeah.
There's a lot about trying to write from within, you know, rather than we're going to write a song about this. It's more expression from somewhere deeper.
Well, I gotta say thank you for helping heal the stigma attached to these topics. Mental health and addiction in particular. We need more of that in the world, and I appreciate
there's
out there that are
millions
going to be
of us,
honest about it.
It's the understanding of why. I think it's easy to label addicts as the scourge of society.
Right,
but now thinking about how they got there.
That's the reaction, though. It's not the thing that caused the reaction.
No, exactly right. And
exactly. Yeah.
If we have a bit more compassion in this world and understanding about why people are the way they are, I think we'll be on
a little bit more empathy and a little less lethargy, a little less complacency. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, see, when we started out, right, I was writing stuff that was so deep that I wanted people to understand, and Max was the same. That's why we got together.
Yeah.
Is how the mind thinks, right? And I didn't want to drag people with me necessarily. I just wanted people to think,
Yeah.
just think.
Yeah.
That is, it was that simple. Hence, History of Guns has followed on.
Well, I love the lyrical style in your work. It's fucking brilliant. So,
Thank you.
and it makes you think.
That's the plan. If you can't think, mate, your party's over.
Yeah, yeah. As soon as you stop thinking, you stop growing, you stop living. You may as
Exactly.
well just lay down and die. Yeah,
Pretty much.
yeah. No, for sure. So how would you say your music has evolved into what it is now?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good bloody question.
That's a Joey question right there.
Joey, do you want to answer this one?
Car crashes, wars, nervous breakdowns,
It often-
beer.
It often comes back to the two of us. So we started with three of us, with
Yeah.
Stagger Lee, who brought us together.
Oh
No,
no, we froze him.
might unfreeze.
Is it going to?
Then he.
There we
Hello?
go. You guys
Okay.
froze up there
It
for a minute.
froze for a
I
second.
think
It just
so.
kicked back
Wait,
on.
wait. What was the last you heard?
The last we heard was what was the last you heard?
Okay. Ah, filter, sir. Yeah, so it really comes back to the two of us. And in which case it's quite electronic because I have to program the drums. My
Yeah.
guitar playing is not good. I am strictly in the punk style of I thought they were bar chords, but it turns out I was playing them badly and they're just power chords.
I cannot stand bar chords. You know what's weird? I can play bar chords with my right hand or with my right hand. I cannot play them with my left hand, and I play right-handed. So I have to, if I want to play bar chords, I have to switch it up and play left-handed so that I can make the bar chords with my right hand.
That's good.
It's very weird. I don't play either. I make noise. Sometimes it's rhythmic. But
If you're lucky, it's
yeah,
with me.
yeah.
So,
So
so we all can just come back to some sort of electronic form because I can do all that and
Yeah.
that's easy. But when we want to play live, we always want to get a guitarist, a drummer, and a bass player. So we're
Yeah.
ever in flux between being a 5-piece rock band and being an electronic band, and we just seem to oscillate between the two. And each time we're changing and mutating. It's never the same when we come like so.
I think
back
that's
to being electronic again.
brilliant. I know that people have a problem with that, especially in the promoter industry.
Yeah,
Have a problem with that. You know, I remember, what was it, disc makers, when they started coming out and they had their little thing, how to become a musician and everything. I was watching this, it's like you can't not have your genre.
No.
And I'm like,
What genre
what?
are you?
I'm like, I do everything, man. I've got, my head is so full of music from, I mean, everywhere, country, pop, doesn't freaking matter. I've got music in my head. So the music I make tends to be reflective of the fact that I've got so many different genres in my head.
Yeah,
And
this
they're
is
like, no, you got to
isolating.
nail it down. You got to, rock in the form. Oh, maybe like a Jane's Addiction type of band. You know, it's like, but so, you know, Gary Newman, when he was trying to get a record contract, he did all of his songs as punk versions of the songs instead of synth versions and new wave versions. He did punk versions to get the record contract, and then he was like, fucking shit, and then he did what he wanted to, which was absolutely amazing. But but I think it's nice that you know, when a band starts out in a spot where people say they were a little unfocused, I think that's magic.
I used to say that like any genre is 90% shit and derivative and 10% gold.
There you go. That's a great way to put it.
Thank you. But yeah, it's not a popular opinion though. A lot of people, yeah, because I like early Genesis with Peter Gabriel. I like Coil. I like bits and pieces that people go, that doesn't go together. What What are you doing?
But it does go together. It's in my
I
head.
think it
I know
does.
it goes together.
It does to me.
It's just me though. Yeah. Awesome.
Do you feel like there's a different approach to writing the music these days than you used to? You take it more serious, or I don't know, the whole free
I do.
concept thing. Yeah.
It's interesting because obviously Half-Light had been around for years, so we're now at the point of starting afresh. And we've got my son Caden is playing guitar for us, and he's a
Oh, cool.
brilliant guitarist. He's one of those guys that walks into a room, picks up a guitar, and he's just playing it.
Oh, bastard.
I, I was always
Oh,
I don't want to learn to play like anyone else. I want to do my own thing.
Yeah.
So I never I was always History of Guns are not a covers band. We've just come up with our own sound. Whereas obviously, as a proper musician should do, he'll be studying John Frusciante, he'll be studying Steve Rothery, and he's just learning lots of different techniques and then
Yeah.
using bits of them to make his own sound, which
Yeah.
is incredible.
Yeah.
And then we were doing a jam a couple of months ago, and he said he just thought, what's the kind of thing that Dad would write here? And he came up with this guitar line, and it was like something I would have wanted to play but wouldn't have been capable of.
Oh my God. Yeah. That's so awesome. Yeah, my niece is learning how to play right now too, and she's pretty good at it. And
Well, there's the future. So we're
Yeah.
excited for the next one.
Yeah,
So we're going
for
back
sure.
to guitar music. We've got a live drummer again. But it's all going to be fresh. We've got 3 little demos we've done so far, tracks towards it.
Right on.
And then
Do you feel a little naked?
What's that?
Do you feel a little naked?
I think so. I mean, I've been listening to a lot of Swans recently, which I often come back to Swans, and they remind me to be a lot less busy, to just build on a thing over a period of time and it build the intensity and then
We can love them.
play again without that structural. We've got to go to a bridge or
Yeah.
that kind of thing. And I think that will suit Dale well as well. That it's a continuous piece of music in the same sort of key that builds in intensity and drops down.
Yeah.
I think he'll feed well off that energy.
Right on.
I'm smoking.
Now, do you roll your own,
Sorry?
Dale? Do you roll your own?
Do you
Do
roll
you
your
roll
own?
your own cigarettes?
Yeah, sadly.
So did I for 20 years. We got some things in common, my friend.
That's a little bit worrying.
Yeah.
And wait, would you rather pay someone to do it for you?
Well,
Yeah,
People
that's
use-
a bit fucking whoring.
We need to
people
stop.
used to ask me why I rolled my own, and I went, because I know who licked mine. I'm like, you don't know who licked that Marlboro, man.
You Yanks are mental. You American.
Wait, do they have liquors at the Marlboro factory?
Have
They
got a
absolutely do.
license?
Some guy with a salivatory problem just sitting back there, blah, 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 blah. That's how hand rolled or how factory rolled cigarettes get licked. Yeah.
That's why chewing gum's so popular in America.
That's it. Oh my God. So
My
is there
God, it's for the stars?
is there an album that stands out as a personal favorite from your discography for each of you? And if so, why?
What, other people's albums?
No, ours.
No, your albums.
Yeah, that one. You know the one.
The 2 big hits for me are Flashes of Light, which was
Flashes
a
of Light.
proper one. We'd done like a demo album before, but it wasn't properly released because that's all electronic. And then Acedia, which is the. Because it's a conscious decision to let's have a look at all the reasons why we are suffering from mental health issues. But from quite a young age, I would do it differently now, of course. But it's got
Yeah.
No, it takes you on a journey. The point was it was a journey. The reason that we wrote it was we went to a launch party for another band, yeah, and it was all good, it was all great. Went back to the house, and all these people were sitting on the floor, yeah. So we was expecting great music after this launch party. right? Because the music was great. We went to the venues, went back to the house, and everyone was sitting around on the floor like zombies. And I thought to myself, hang on, when there's a captive audience, so easy to catch. And that's where it was built from, just to piss these people off.
Oh, that's fucking awesome. I like that.
You see, it's so simple to do.
Yeah,
But
get no reaction.
for us, yeah, it took us
Yeah.
on our own personal journey. And yeah, it sunk us a bit deep. Because it's all about our own lives, you know. It wasn't just, you know, we're not a made up band. We come from experience.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's
Well,
fucking awesome, dude.
what
So,
made you want to pursue music from an early age to whenever? What made you
Yeah,
start?
that.
So I'm sorry.
Why do you want to be in a
Right.
band?
Why did I want to be in a
Why did you
band?
want to pursue music? What made you interested in music to pursue it as a career?
Yeah.
Oh wow. I always wanted to be an actor, but I could not be an actor because I come from a bit of a poor background. I found it so easy to write. I found it so easy to be expressive. I was a depressed child. I was a
Yeah.
depressed adult, and then I met someone when I started a band, and that didn't quite work out. And it turned out that I met these guys and they accepted my voice. So it just roller coasted from there. And then it became a friendship. Right. To find friendship within music is bloody hard to find.
Yeah. No, it really is.
Yeah.
So what was the music scene like when you two grew up?
For me personally,
Yeah.
oh, well, yeah, I was.
I mean, because you're in Britain?
Yes, rule Britannia,
Britannia.
rule the waves.
So you
Will
got
let
to
other people in anyway.
yeah. So you got to be there for like the 70s and for parts of the
Yeah,
70s and the 80s
great
and
day.
stuff. So tell us a little bit about the scene.
Yeah, oh mate, the 60s were great. 70s are awesome.
You're not getting a little more detail.
Wait.
It's all
Wait. But personally, stop. You're such a nightmare. Personally, what happened to me, in the it was 1977, yeah. My parents split up, yeah, and punk rock had come along.
Yeah.
So I was lost between two parents, and the likes of the Sex Pistols. I've never liked the Clash, too political. All these punk bands come along, and I just went, yes, this is awesome.
Right
And
on.
all that stuff got in my head that you can actually do something that on your own. Obviously, all over the years they're all faded, it was all drawn apart. And I always had this because I used to write a lot. I was always writing.
Yeah.
And it took this long, right, till 1996 until I met Max and like the likes of Stagger Lee to be able to put my own ideas to music. It's a bloody long time.
That is a bloody long time. That's awesome though. So you still have some of your very early journals? Do you still
Oh
dig
yeah.
those out?
It's everything. Oh
Man, yeah, no, I lost mine.
how times change.
Yeah, right.
I'm waiting for him to die, then I'm going to publish it and make my millions.
Yeah, after I'm gone, people will know me. Oh man. So, words of wisdom for the youth wanting to get into the scene today.
Persist.
Persist.
Oh, I have it tattooed on my wrist. Can you see that? Probably not. It's pretty
Persistence is all.
Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah, it is. It's just keep going. No matter how bad things get, and most people have had that dark night of the soul where they wonder, is it worth living? Is it worth carrying on? And
Yeah.
I try to say it's kind of like sometimes when it's bad, a bad film, you may as well watch it to the end just to see what happens.
Yeah.
You don't get any extra points for turning it off early.
Yeah, as I think it's personal. Once you get into a bad film to a certain point, you're like, I gotta fucking watch it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is,
I'm not giving up.
You know what's going to happen.
Not, but might be 99% sure, but they could throw you at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Right. Yeah, what your question? Yeah, a lot of my friends have got children now that are in really, really good bands, and they honestly sit me on my bottom.
Yeah.
And it's getting it out there. It's such a it's so complicated for 'em. But I'll sit there and listen to my. It's weird listening to those little children who used to carry in my arms.
Yeah.
Are now in bands that are really, really good. But
Yeah.
the thing is, they've got the internet at their fingertips, but they don't quite know how to use it.
No,
It's just weird to
they
me.
get a few more years on them. They'll get it figured out.
I think also, obviously, like when we started, and we had to save up our money and go to demo studios, and obviously with the advent of computer recording,
Yeah.
it's brilliant because it's no barrier to creativity. But the flip side of that is there's a huge deluge of stuff out there that you're competing against.
Yeah.
How do you
exactly.
get heard?
Yeah. No, seriously.
you
I mean,
hear about
it's
us,
great for
for
things like this
example?
too. I mean, we've got you guys. We're in
Okay,
two different
right,
states.
stop.
Joey and Levi and I are in 3 different states, and we have guests on from all over the damn world, and it's fucking brilliant.
It is amazing.
Yeah, it's great where some of this has gone. David Bowie was saying we haven't even scratched the surface yet, and they was asked, how do you think technology will affect this stuff back in what 2005 or so, and they were asking him, and I mean, there's a lot of vitriol out there. There's a lot of poison. It's dark, it's dank, and but there are points of light inside that, bands like yours.
My friend Mark Ellis, who used to run Wasp Factory Records, and he said to me quite early on, Max, it's the easiest thing in the world to become a bitter musician.
Yeah.
And that's something I take to heart, because you go, oh, my stuff's as good as that stuff over there. Why aren't I getting there? That's a very easy trap to fall
easy to
into.
get in there. Yeah.
And there's so much luck. There's so much that is beyond how good you are, or how pretty you look, or whatever. That I think you've got to come from a point where, as a lot of people I used to know go, well, if I don't make it by the time I'm 30, that's it, I'm quitting. But what I realized when I
Oh my
started,
God. I'm glad I wasn't smart enough to come up with something like that.
but I stopped because I was working full time and I was doing a college course. And what I found within a couple of years was that creativity is something I need to do for my own mental health.
Yeah.
Regardless if anyone buys it or anything,
Yeah.
I need to make the music. So I'm going to carry on.
Yeah.
Hopefully
I knew
someone
when I was 5 years old, I was an artist. And
Yeah.
and it wasn't until I was like 20 years old that I realized, shit, I shouldn't have said that out loud when I was 5. 'cause
Excellent.
Oh my God.
It's so good to know we're not alone.
Right? Yeah. No,
Well, you
there's
dressed
a
up at the
lot of
time.
similar feelings out there, and it's beautiful to find them. So, do you guys have anything else you'd like to talk about or promote today?
Yeah.
Well, we've
Let's
got
hear
the Drug Castle film coming out, but we also decided, thanks to Michelle Rowland from UCM, he said, well, if you're releasing a film, you should release it as a single on the same day. I was like, well, it's kind of a long ambient track, which has got this acoustic guitar bit on the end. He said, no, you could split it. So the first half is like a industrial electronic track, and the second half is the guitar track. And I was like, oh, I've got enough work to do. I'll think about it. But the more I thought about it, the more that's an excellent idea. And I'm a big KLF fan. And so We're calling it Last Train
Oh,
to
yeah.
Castle. And I've been just putting Hammer dance beats to it. So that'll be
Oh,
coming out,
nice.
yes, in the next couple of weeks. And then the last thing of this Half-Light promo schedule is going to be an EP of kind of like alternative versions. And I've done one of the electronic tracks. We've stripped all the electronics off and loops and keyboards and put like live drums and guitars on. It's almost like a D-mix. We've got an electronic track and turned it into a rock track.
Oh, cool.
And
So-
that's then the end of Half-Light and on to the next chapter.
Right on. That's awesome. I just had something pop back into my head, so sorry, it was a little ADD moment for me.
What's into your head?
Max, you are the musical side, yeah?
Yeah.
So when you're making the electronic music, I do a lot of that myself. I've, you know, I pull sounds from myself typically. Where are you getting? Because there are some absolutely beautiful layers on the new album, and some of the sounds that you've got in there, the electronics and stuff, are just amazing. Where are you pulling these things from?
Don't tell him, Pike.
I make them all myself in my garage. No, there's so much around at the moment. Yeah, when I've upgraded to Cubase 11, and that's got its Sonic 7, and it's got a synth there. Then I also use Nexus, is one of my favorites.
Ooh,
Then
that's a good one.
Gladiator 64. I downloaded some sort of Dark Planet
Ask him to
sound pack.
join the band. It'd be a lot
Yeah.
easier to explain.
And then I'm blessed that from when I was a teenager, I got a Moog Prodigy.
Yeah.
Wow.
So everything,
You can't top a Prodigy.
everyone's faces light up whenever I.
Yes, I imagine they
But
do.
yeah, I can any song you can put that on. You don't think about it. You just tune in
Yeah.
with the timing, and that adds that layer of which I can never recreate that on a soft synth. I don't think.
Yeah, I know that I'm still trying to figure that out with some of the stuff I'm doing. Is
Just-
like,
just
how the hell am I
don't
going to
bother.
reproduce this stuff? I'm just going to have to make tracks and play the tracks because
I've just got one of those controllers that's like it's just like lots of knobs I can put in that I should get into the soft synth so I can live
Yeah,
do that. But like
yeah. I've got the MS-20 Micro,
oh yeah.
the Korg. I'm having a blast with that damn thing.
What's happened to that, man?
Okay, well, I guess that's about the end of it. Joey, do you have anything else?
No, this has been great. Well, thank you guys so much.
Thank you for
Dale?
having me.
Max, absolute pleasure having you guys on today. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
for having
for
us.
being
We
here.
really appreciate it.
Kiddies, you can find the History of the Guns new album Half-Light on CD on Bandcamp. I believe the digital discography is offered free right now.
The whole thing, yeah, everything we've done is on Bandcamp for free.
Excellent. So please feel free to enter More Than Zero and to grab some physical media while you're at it.
We'll only waste it.
Awesome. Okay. We've had a theme here. If you haven't picked up on it, kids, the world can be a stark, uncaring, and cruel place. We don't have to be. The world is better with you in it. Please be good to each other and yourselves. Make art. Hug people.
You
Smile
know,
at
Star.
strangers.
Absolutely.
Reach out if you need or see someone in need. Reach out if you are in need or if you see someone in need. This show, as all of our shows are, is dedicated to our friend Jason Lupo with respect to his lovely family. Love, hugs, and belly rubs, everybody.
What a star.
Thank you so much.
No, you fucking